watched A Quiet Place, I was floored by the experience. John Krasinski, aka Jim from The Office, managed to put together such an amazing, iconic horror movie that it has easily become one of my favorite franchises. After I watched the first movie, I knew there were a million things they could do with this and a million ways they could go with it. One of the things I was always anxious to see was how the world was the minute these monsters touched down. I do like the different avenue they took with it, where you've got people already living in this world that has these crazy creatures in it, and that was a very authentic and intimate and beautiful concept that you don't often see with monster movies. It allowed there to be mystery and true fear, and honestly, I'd never seen a concept like this before A Quiet Place, where you have to stay absolutely quiet for your survival, and that's impossible in most cases. Of course, I admit there are a bunch of issues with the movie where this completely falls through, and you can check that out on my Quiet Place series. I made a plethora of videos about the Quiet Place monsters, otherwise known as death angels. And as you can see, I have the whole playlist here. I have videos of them versus other movie monsters. I made a POV story from the monster's point of view. I also made theories about what could happen in the future or what the monsters are, so you can feel free to check out all of that on this channel. One of the theories I remember having, though, is the possibility that these creatures are not the only thing that people now have to worry about. They could just be the attack dog sent ahead to cleanse the planet, and there could be something else that they have to worry about. Not only that, but you could have these small drone infantry creatures and then have something else way more insidious than what we see. Right now, based on the trailer for A Quiet Place Day 1, you're seeing the same creatures that we saw in the Quiet Place movies. For whatever reason, when the monsters are on screen, they're always evoking a sense of fear. But around the end portion of the first movie, A Quiet Place, the humans discovered that they can use sound against the creatures who rely on sound to hunt and live. The second movie shows that these creatures are still to be feared, but they're a lot more beatable. So this is what I wanted, a movie where they showcase everything from when the monsters touch down on Earth. And I don't just mean the sporadic flashbacks that we got in the first movie, or rather than the second movie. I wanted a dedicated movie where we see people experiencing this and not knowing the answer to this very obvious problem. And maybe it's not so obvious for them. That's what I wanted the Jurassic Park franchise to be, even though it doesn't make any sense because the dinosaurs are way more easily killable than these creatures. But imagine somebody else's point of view of what this was like all over the world. You can make a million of these movies from different points of view. That's the thing I like about alien movies too. You can always make so many different concepts of alien concepts, and all you have to do is change the concept of the alien with a slightly different execution, and I will always listen to creepypastas of that or movies portraying that, because it's kind of like suki entertainment, you know? It's the same old, and if you've seen it, you've probably seen it over and over again, but different people, different situations make it new and exciting. I think a better example I should have used was animals. Like, you have your dogs at home, but every time you see a new dog, it's always super exciting, and then your voice goes up 12 octaves, and then your dog thinks you're cheating on them, which is so sad. Like, for real, just because I pet another dog doesn't mean I'm gonna stuff my hand up its ass. But anyway, so the story seems to follow Lupita. I absolutely love this woman. I think she's an amazing actress. So I'm very excited to see things from her perspective in a role like this. You could tell that she's throwing her soul into it. I also love to see this concept being executed in a big city area, because previously we've seen it in the rural area from John Krasinski's character and based on the little town they lived in and the surrounding region. Like I mentioned in my POV story that I did of this, I would love to see a face-off between these things and the army, the death angels as they're called. I want to see people fighting for their lives and feeling absolutely saved and protected the minute the army shows up, only to be horrified that nothing that the military uses on these creatures works. I wonder what would happen if the Predator monster from the Predator series were to hunt this thing. Well, guess what? I made a video about that too. It was 3 years prior to this video, but still. This is to show you how excited I was about this franchise. Every question I thought I could ask, I asked, and you probably have those questions too. And if you're watching this video and you've not seen the original Quiet Place movie, I strongly implore that you do, and you put everything aside and just listen. The experience of that movie alone is what makes it so enjoyable. But I think, based on this trailer, you can still watch this movie without having to watch that one, it's not like you have to watch that one in order. I'm pretty sure they'll have some way to connect these movies. But since this is showing the start, you can still watch this and then watch the John Krasinski movies directed by him as basically a sequel, even though it's not. This technically is a prequel movie, sort of. But you cannot be eating loud chips or constantly correcting your toddler as they're walking around the living room and making a bunch of noise with their push pop toys. This is a movie that you need to actually sit down and be quiet and let the darkness saturate you while you're alone or with your significant other or friends. You can't be garrulous through this movie because you'll ruin the entire experience. Now, I'm super excited for this movie, but the one thing that's making me anxious as hell is that there's a cat in the movie and it looks as though the cat is going to be a big part of it. One thing I appreciated about the first two movies is that there were no animals aside from the raccoon that got squashed to all hell for no reason. But now we have a cute kitty, and not only am I invested in Lupita, but I'm also invested in the cat. And the cat is so calm with everything that's going on. Is that her emotional support animal? Is the cat deaf? I mean, I feel like there's a deeper story there, but I'm so freaked out seeing this. And again, I know cats are very quiet creatures, and it looks as though Lupita's character becomes separated from the cat and they probably reunite later. I'm curious how she's going to be able to speak to people without sign language, and this is just assuming that she doesn't know it. The Abbott family had that to their advantage. It's one of the reasons why they were followed as a plot line, because that was a way for them to communicate. Now, imagine you don't know sign language. I'm guessing that the main character isn't deaf, you know? Like, I would like to know how she'll communicate with other human beings, especially if they don't know that it's sound. Now, this is day one. There's no news articles that came out telling people that sound was the problem. All she knows is that she's being attacked. Everyone's being attacked around her, and you gotta keep quiet, but you don't realize that the monsters themselves are blind because they keep finding you and you have no idea why. So they're not going to make that connection right away, which makes it terrifying. I think this movie will do okay because it's also the type of franchise that you can make an anthology, yeah, like following a same story, you know, having the same story with new people and new perspective. You can also add features to the monster that weren't in the previous movies. I love that they didn't show us much, but I'm sure we'll probably get another trailer, one seeing the monsters. The monsters are so intriguing to me. I love their design because I've never seen something like this. I also love that they didn't show us too much, but I'm sure we'll probably get another trailer. A Quiet Place Day 1 is supposed to be in theaters June 28th of 2024, and I'm glad we don't have to wait long. Oh my god, I can't tell you how much I absolutely hate it when they drop trailers, and then you realize that the movie's coming out 2 years from now, and I'm like, okay, so what's the point? 2 days after seeing the trailer, you're gonna forget that this movie exists anyway. I do have a soft spot for blockbuster movies, especially if they're released during the summer when it's all nice and fun. Monster movies are basically the only thing I'll be drawn out of my house to go to the theater to see. You see, the timing doesn't really matter too much to me, but what I truly appreciate is their ability to offer a form of entertainment that diverts from all the heaviness of, you know, the real world stuff, which was kind of part of the point of movies. And yeah, all the excitement that I felt from watching A Quiet Place Day 1's trailer, there was an immediate smile on my face. And it seems that I'm far from alone in this sentiment, as evidenced by the trailer surpassing 5 million views in just 12 hours. I'm telling you, at the time of recording this video, it was at 5.3. And it didn't take very long, because this video at this time, 12 minutes have gone over, sort of, 10 minutes. And it is just exponentially increasing in views. 5 million views in 12 hours is not bad. And being number one on trending. That's pretty cool. That's to show you that people really want this. And also, just to add, I'm never usually excited to see actors in movies, but Matthew McConaughey, Henry Cavill, Denzel Washington, Leonardo DiCaprio, you see, those are examples of actors I will still watch specifically because they're in a movie. And Lupita is easily one of those actors. After seeing everything she's been in and seeing how she puts her heart into it and takes her role seriously, like actors are supposed to, I'm definitely sold on wanting to watch her in anything. And maybe I'm a little biased because she's super cute. Not even gonna lie, sometimes she looks like a walking doll, how cute her face is. So I mean, it helps. Anyway, what do you guys think about A Quiet Place Day 1? Are you excited to see this? Do you think they're gonna do this day by day? I don't think so. And I hope this isn't the last movie because I can see many different avenues they could take with this. But what do you think they're going to do with future movies? Or what are they going to do in this movie? Thanks so much for watching. This has been Ultiori. You ask, we answer.